Next on the news, a Catholic parish making sure there's room for everyone during Mass.
One New Jersey church is putting Catholic social teaching to the test with a room that's small in size, but making a huge impact. I'm Jessica Easthope. That story's coming up.
Una iglesia viva!
A visiting priest from Colombia shakes things up during the Lenten Pilgrimage. Hundreds packed this Mass. The Vatican's Holy Week schedule is out. No word yet on the Pope's role. And the story of an Uber driver who chose the road to redemption.
He was living a life of sin until he found God. Now a Bronx man is preparing to be baptized in the Diocese of Brooklyn. I'm Katie Vasquez, and I'll have his story coming up.
I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now. One New Jersey church is making room for neurodivergent parishioners to participate in Mass. St. Joseph's Church in Maplewood recently built a sensory space inside its sanctuary so kids and adults alike who might feel overstimulated can find peace. Currents News' Jessica Easthope has more.
The sounds of a Mass can bring you closer to the Holy Spirit.
And my dear brothers and sisters, the Lord be with you.
Or they can have the opposite effect.
Sometimes they sing on for 5 minutes and it's the same song over and over and you don't know what they're saying.
What does it sound like?
Too loud.
9-year-old Kai Galdi and his 4-year-old sister Rumi are neurodivergent. Kai has anxiety and ADHD, Rumi a rare genetic disorder that comes with physical and developmental disabilities.
She likes doing this, right?
At Sunday Mass, they're regulars inside the new Still Waters sensory room at St. Joseph's Church in Maplewood.
We call them the smells and bells. You're hearing the bells ring, and then the organ starts to play. The incense, prayers back and forth. This can be overwhelming.
The room is a small space with monochromatic navy blue walls and furniture and tools designed to calm the senses. Pastor Father Jim Worth says when the stimuli at a Catholic Mass have the power to push a neurodivergent brain to the brink, this space is necessary.
What are they going to do? Sometimes they have an episode or a moment. Nobody likes the eyeballs rolled. But it's kind of like an oxymoron because church shouldn't be quiet.
Father Jim called on one of his parishioners, Kim Tkach, the executive director of nonprofit Together We Bloom, which empowers children and families with disabilities through inclusion, to help design the space.
If I get overwhelmed, if I get overstimulated, I have a place to go, right? As a reminder that all of us belong here.
Kai and Rumi's mom, Pavithra, says the sensory room has changed their relationship with faith.
So we've been able to go together consistently, and it's been really, really good for our family.
And Kai and Rumi know come Sunday, they have a place where they can find peace.
I get to get away from everything and just play with the fidgets and stuff. They have my ears. Yeah.
Father Jim says St. Joe's does what it can to be as close to true inclusion as Christ was. But God's welcome has always existed.
We'll be back on Sunday.
And extends far beyond these 4 blue walls. In Maplewood, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
If you or someone you know would like to visit the sensory room and connect to the Mass, St. Joseph Church is located at 767 Prospect Street in Maplewood, New Jersey. Again, the room is located inside its sanctuary. St. Joseph has Mass every weekday at 8 a.m., Saturday at 5 p.m., and 2 Sunday Masses, a 9 a.m. family Mass and an 11:30 a.m. choir Mass. The Diocese of Brooklyn's Lenten Pilgrimage continues. On Thursday, young Catholics led the way at a Mass at Blessed Sacrament Church. That's the All Things Are Possible youth group, the ministry at the Jackson Heights Church, joining in song with nearly 1,000 other parishioners who filled the pews for the Spanish Mass dedicated to the Blessed Sacrament. Brooklyn's Bishop Robert Brennan was the main celebrant of the Mass, alongside homilist Father Lucas Moreno, a visiting priest from Colombia who inspired the young people. There are 3 weeks left of the Lenten Pilgrimage, but it's not too late to join. Just download the Lenten Pilgrimage app from the App Store or Google Play. You can also get more information by visiting lent.dioceseofbrooklyn.org. Bishop Brennan says he's been inspired by all of the young people taking part in the diocese's Lenten Pilgrimage. He spoke about it on his podcast, Big City Catholics.
In this past week, I've had occasions to start the day with schools, and that's always an uplift, the voices of children singing. I think one of the best sounds in the world is the sound of children saying the Our Father. That never gets old to me. When you're at a school mass, the first and second graders come out with this very loud, strongly enunciated, each word saying of the Our Father.
In this episode, Bishop Brennan is joined by Father Joseph Giabino, the diocese's vicar for evangelization and catechesis. The bishop thanked him and his team for all of their hard work coordinating the pilgrimage. You can listen to the full conversation on Bishop Brennan's podcast, Big City Catholics, at podcast.dioceseofbrooklyn.org or search for Big City Catholics on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. While Pope Francis is still recovering at Casa Santa Marta, the Vatican has released its Holy Week and Easter schedule. The list of masses and liturgies say they will be celebrated by the Pontifical Chapel, which includes the Pope, cardinals residing in Rome, and top Vatican officials. When asked about the Holy Father's involvement, the Holy See's press office said they will need to see the improvements in the Pope's health in the coming weeks in order to assess his possible presence and involvement. Some of those liturgies, as laid out by the Vatican, include a Palm Sunday Mass in St. Peter's Square on April 13th, a Chrism Mass at St. Peter's Basilica on April 17th, the traditional Way of the Cross at Rome's Colosseum on April 18th, the Easter Vigil at the Basilica on the 19th, and Easter Mass in St. Peter's Square on the 20th. And be sure to stick with Net TV for full Holy Week coverage, where you can watch all of those services. Starting on Tuesday, April 15th, with the Chrism Mass at 4 p.m. On Holy Thursday, Net TV will broadcast live the Mass of the Lord's Supper at 7:30 p.m. On Good Friday, there will be 3 services: a Way of the Cross at 10 a.m., a Spanish Procession of the Lord at 12 p.m., and the Passion of the Lord at 3 p.m. The Easter Vigil will be at 8 p.m. that Saturday, and on Easter Sunday, there will be 6 masses for the faithful to view: 9 a.m. Creole, 11 a.m. English, 1:30 p.m. Spanish, 4 p.m. Italian, 5 p.m. Polish, and 6 p.m. English. We spoke with one man who will enter the Catholic faith during the Easter Vigil. At one point in his life, Christopher Penna was a struggling drug addict. Now he's a faithful man of God, ready to receive his sacraments as he counts down the days to becoming Catholic. Currents News' Katie Vasquez has his story from East New York.
Christopher Penna spends his days picking up passengers across the 5 boroughs. So what do you like about driving for Uber?
I like it too. I like it because I meet different people.
And at one point, his life was headed on a one-way street too, but to nowhere.
Oh, I was a drug addict. Yes. I used drugs, cocaine, pills, and meet the wrong people.
The Bronx resident decided he needed to shift his mindset. He got clean 2.5 years ago, but felt like something was missing. And that's when he let Jesus take the wheel.
I want to change my life. I want to connect more with God, spirituality, physically, meet different people.
He grew up in the Dominican Republic and moved to New York when he was 16, attending both Catholic masses and evangelical Christian services. A friend suggested St. Rita Church in East New York, where he felt instantly at peace.
I like to be here. The people, they treat me good.
Now he's taking the next step in his spiritual journey. He's about to be baptized into the Catholic faith, a step he hopes will provide a clean slate.
Yeah, I want to be different, be more faithful, do something different for my life, start again my life. We need more spirituality.
And he prays that his experiences can be an example to others.
Maybe I can change their mind to come to the church and do the right thing and start believing more in Jesus.
Christopher continues driving forward, knowing God is right beside him. In East New York, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
Chris is one of hundreds joining the Diocese of Brooklyn during the rite of election, a tradition that lets the church know they're ready to enter fully into the church. 693 catechumens said yes to God. Breaking down those numbers even further, there were 454 catechumens in Queens, 333 adults and 121 children, and 239 in Brooklyn, 205 adults and 34 children. If you want to start your own journey to become Catholic and join the Order of Christian Initiation of Adults, just visit bqcatholic.org/OCIA. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.